Good afternoon and happy Saturday. You're here with Our World, Our Power with Lady Pauline, and I have a special guest host today because Glenn is on vacation. He's in Chicago taking care of some business. So today I have with me Mr. Rudy J. Breedy. Yay! I've been wanting to get you in this seat for the longest time.
All you had to do was ask. I'm ready to be here. Glenn, I love you, but don't ever come back. I want this.
So, Rudy, who do we have today as a guest?
I got to tell you, first of all, I'm so honored that you invited me to be here. This is just such a treat because I have been watching Our World Media all over your YouTube channel and your Instagram stuff and everything. So I love you, Lady Pauline.
I love
Thank
you
you for
too.
that. I'm so glad to be here. And as my first show, I mean, this is a big deal to me, and you have no idea why, but I'll tell you in a minute. We have the one and only Judi Beecher, who is a producer, singer, songwriter, author, and most importantly, she's been on Law and Order, which is amazing, Judi. I got to tell you, because I'm the biggest Law and Order fan ever. So the fact that you've been on there, as well as The Bold and the Beautiful and The Shield, and you're a model, like you do it all. Do you have time to even go to the supermarket? You do everything, Judi. Like, what's going on?
I do occasionally have time to. I am an actress. Also.
Okay. Yes, you are an actress. I'm sorry.
You didn't
Yes, you
mention
do.
that.
I'm sorry. See, production, shame. But yes, go for it. So,
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Occasionally, I do go to the supermarket. Yes.
I mean, it's amazing. Your accomplishments are incredible. You've also modeled in France, Italy, and of course, New York, the greatest city of all.
I have.
Where did all of this begin? I'm dying to hear a bit about that. And then, of course, we're going to talk about Tango Shalom and everything else. But how did this get started? I mean, you're so multifaceted.
Yeah, and believe it or not, I didn't think I could do anything when I was a
come
kid.
on.
No. But no, I was always, as a child, I was always singing. I'd be sitting in my living room, of my parents' living room, with a CB radio, plugged into the stereo.
Yeah.
And I was always singing.
Okay.
Always to every song, Barbra Streisand. I was always singing.
Yeah.
And I was always putting on plays in my basement as a kid as well.
Were you the lead in the plays?
Of course.
Okay, there you go.
I was always the star. I was always the star, and I cast my sister and my cousins,
Love it.
and we would put on these big plays for my family.
Okay.
But the thing was, even though I would always do this, I was super, super shy.
Really?
Not at home.
Okay.
I was the star at home.
Gotcha.
But I was really, really shy in school.
Oh.
And so I would never raise my hand. I would never talk to anybody. I was so scared. So it's very interesting that I ended up in a profession where you really can't be shy because you're out in
Correct.
front of all these people.
That's true.
Yeah.
And when I would audition for plays in school, I really wanted to do it because I sang all the time, and I would get up on stage and I would start singing, and that's how it would sound. Nothing would come out. And it would be like, louder, louder.
Okay.
And we have a pretty voice. We can't hear you.
Right.
So things turned. I went to college. I went away. I think once I left the country for the first time, and I realized that there were other things in the world rather than just where I grew up and the people that were criticizing.
But
And
before you go on with that, where does a shy person get the courage to kind of leave the country? How did that
well, I
come
went
about?
with first I went with my family. Then I
Okay.
went on a teen tour.
Gotcha.
And when I came back, I just realized that there were other cultures, there were other peoples. This was my little town that I grew up was not the only thing. Where
Okay.
the girls, I came from Great Neck, Long Island, and
Hello, Great Neck.
hello, Great Neck. But a lot of people there. It's a wealthy town with the Jewish American prince and princesses, and I was I wasn't like that. I was just this like shy little girl.
Okay.
That,
Gotcha. Okay.
And so when I got back, I started kind of coming out of my shell.
Okay.
And when I was in college, I started modeling.
Okay.
I just kind of, I don't know how that happened. I just started modeling for the school paper, and then
Amazing.
I went to a modeling agency, and I started I was on the cover of the these little papers and stuff, and then I finished college. I was a business major.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I was a business major and
Amazing.
psychology. And I thought that that's what I'm supposed to do.
Okay.
I'm supposed to either be a doctor or a lawyer or go, into business. And in business, I didn't know what that meant. I was a business major and I thought I was supposed to work in a bank.
Gotcha.
So I interviewed for banks in Paris.
Okay.
As like doing an internship in Paris.
They have banks in great things,
I know, but I already got that bug,
Gotcha.
I had spent my junior year abroad, like my junior summer abroad, and I really wanted to go back to France because I was obsessed with France.
Beautiful.
And so I started working as an intern in a bank in France.
Okay.
But I brought my portfolio with me. I kind of hid it. My parents saw me bringing it, and they were like, "What are you doing? Why are you bringing your modeling portfolio with you?" I was like, "Oh, I'm not. This is not my modeling portfolio." But I would model on my lunch breaks.
No way.
And at the bank.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
I would sneak out, and I hated working in the bank. I hated it.
Okay.
But I'm a person that follows through on what I commit to.
That's why you're so successful.
So I finished out my 6-month internship, and then I started modeling full time. And I modeled in France, and then in
That's fantastic.
Italy and Spain and Germany.
Was, I guess, the modeling or the performing world in your family? Like, how did you know to navigate all of those waters? Because it's a tricky business.
I had a crush on this guy.
Okay.
He was a model.
There we go.
And I wanted to
Okay.
talk to him and get closer to him, but he was a model. So I called him up and I said, this wasn't even true at the time.
Yeah.
I said, I want to be a model too. What do I do?
Oh, wow. That sounds like fun.
Absolutely. You're very smart. I love it.
And then I listened to him.
Okay.
He was older than me, and I was this little girl. I just had this crush on him. Of course. And so then I started doing that, and I listened to him, and I started getting a portfolio together, and I started. Yeah, that's how I got into modeling.
Fantastic.
Can I
That's
ask
really
you
good.
something, Judy?
Sure.
Who inspired you when you was growing up?
My cousin Elsa inspired me. She was was the second mother to my mother, and she was from Germany, and she had helped bring over my family, my grandparents, and they were Holocaust survivors, and they were in the war, and she did everything to help orchestrate them getting out of Germany to the States. And she ran her own import-export company. She did import during the war. She was doing stuff, and she never had her own kids, and she was the matriarch of our family.
Gotcha.
So she really inspired me, and I would sit with her and talk for hours, and she'd tell me about how she did the things. And I actually ended up going into import-export once I came back from modeling and singing in Europe. I ended up for a short amount of time trying to do my own import-export thing, like with clothing from Europe and from France and Italy, and bags and clothing and high-end things. And so she was really she was an inspiration to me.
That's fantastic.
Now, did she inspire you as well as far as musical and acting and stuff? Now, where did that come
Nobody
in?
did. No, nobody did. I don't know where that came from. I was just I always wanted to perform in front of people, be it, doing cartwheels in front of them. I wanted, I just wanted to perform always. I was just too shy to do it in front of real people. I could do it in front of my family, but,
Gotcha. So are any of your talents inherited? I mean, did your mom or your dad sing, or your grandparents, or anyone?
My grandfather was a cantor, which, he sung the prayers in Germany.
Okay.
But my father could play a little piano.
Okay.
But no, my mother's very creative.
Gotcha.
She's very, very creative.
Gotcha.
But
Okay. So
Yeah,
you're
no,
almost a conglomerate of all the individual gifts that they had almost housed into you, which is fantastic.
yeah,
So
and
it's-
but the thing is, the important thing is letting these, because as a, I write, I do all these different things. But as a child, I really felt like I couldn't do any of this stuff. I thought I wasn't creative. I didn't have talent. It was very strange that someone who is so creative really thought I really thought I wasn't creative.
Right,
So, that's to all those people out there listening that think that they, they don't know what their passion is. They don't think that they can do it. You really can. It's just allowing whatever it is to come out, because all this stuff just kind of came out of me one day.
Okay. I could be reading this wrong, but I'm getting almost a vibe from you that you are so appreciative of your gifts. Is that because you didn't think you had them when you were younger? Like you seem, there's some people who are so talented that almost, for lack of better wording, seem to just take it for granted. And, you know, they don't appreciate their voice or they don't appreciate their acting. But you radiate just this love and this appreciation for what you do. So
Yeah.
is part of that, I guess, rooted in
It
the fact that
probably
you...
is the fact that
Okay.
I didn't think I could do
Yeah.
it, and all of a sudden it's like, oh my gosh, like I
Right.
started writing one day. Like I'd
Yeah.
never written anything. I would,
Right.
as a kid, and my mother actually, it was because I didn't spell right or
Yeah.
grammar, but I took it from my mother that I just couldn't write.
Okay.
Like, so I really believed I
Yeah.
couldn't write, and
Okay.
everybody else wrote my papers for me in college.
wow.
Like, I would
Okay.
say, could you help me write my paper? I can't write.
Okay.
But really,
You did.
but really, all of a sudden, one day, it just started coming through me. Like, and I started writing 12 songs in one night. And I wrote a book of poetry while I was walking. And I wrote, I'm writing a book right now called Zola's Mind, Body, Spirit Healing. And that just was channeled through me. Like 4 books just came through me, and I had never written anything.
Okay.
And I just wrote a play, a 5-minute play. I'd never written a play. I'd never written a book. I had never written anything. But and there's no thought that I have. It just comes through me
Gotcha.
automatically.
So, Judy, would you
Allowing-
say you're kind of a spiritual person?
I think I'm a very spiritual person. Yes, and it's definitely. It comes. A lot of the stuff comes after I meditate.
Okay.
Or if I'm in a place like the poetry, I was in this very spiritual island. Like it was such this. The nature for me is very spiritual, and when I'm in that space of just connection, when I feel myself kind of grounded and connection, the stuff just comes through me. So yes, I am very spiritual.
Gotcha.
Very.
That's awesome. Also, what was your first professional thing that you did? As far as, was it singing? Was it acting? When you got that paycheck?
Well, modeling was the first, and then singing. Also, everything I do. I'm a Sagittarius, so I'm a free spirit. I love to just travel the world, and I do whatever I kind of just feel. And I became a singer, so I did modeling first, then I became a singer. As a fluke, someone kind of dared me to sing with them. They were going to travel around Europe, and they said, "Okay, Judy, you sing." They didn't even know I could sing. You sing. I'll play the guitar, and he holds the hat, and we'll travel around Europe. I was like, really? I don't even know. I have to learn songs, what am I going to sing? So we started doing that. We were so successful, and we traveled all around Europe. We made so much money.
Okay. And
then I got hired I got a gig in a club, once we arrived in Barcelona, and then I sang in Germany. And so that was my next paycheck,
Okay.
so to speak. And then I went into import-export. I came back to the States, went into import-export, and then realized that was not what I wanted to do at all. When someone said to me, "Where do you see yourself in 5 years?" And I thought about it. I was like, gosh, I never thought about that before.
Okay.
But not doing this.
Gotcha.
I didn't want, I had my own company. I had gone into partnership with a boyfriend, and we had this super successful thing, and I was super young, and I was like, God, I don't think I want to do this, but what do I want to do?
Right.
And acting wasn't even something that I had considered, because it wasn't a real profession
Okay.
in my family.
Gotcha.
Like acting is, you just, you don't act.
Right.
And then I did this book, What Color is Your Parachute? And every single thing pointed to acting.
Okay.
Everything.
Gotcha.
Because that's what makes me feel good. It makes me happy. And so, you can make a lot of money if you follow your bliss, if you follow your passion, because
Correct.
it's something you'll dedicate
Correct.
many, many hours to.
Right.
And it's not work. Like for me, it's not work. For me, it's
It's joy. It's love.
it's joy, it's play, and every time I get a job, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm getting paid to be so happy. you know? It's like-
right. Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Speaking of job, and obviously you've had some success. Do you remember, say, the first thing you bought when you got that first check, either singing or acting, or was there something memorable? I know some people, they go out and buy a car, they buy a house, they buy a
Right. No,
bag.
I know a lot of people go buy a car or something,
Yeah.
but no, I'm not, I don't remember. I actually don't remember any specific thing that I.
No fancy meal at a
No,
wonderful
for me, it's
restaurant?
about travel.
Gotcha.
So
Okay.
whenever it's not like I'm not. I've learned many lessons in my life. I am very spiritual, and I've had to learn lessons. I've had everything in my life stolen from me, like everything. So the material thing is not like I had all my jewelry stolen. I had all my cameras. I had my makeup. I had my portfolio. I had my everything. And I learned the lesson that I learned. It was a period of 7 years where everything was stolen. That's not what's important.
Okay.
It's not. I was material. I was like, oh, this thing, and I like that, and I got that now. And it's not. That's not what's important. What's important is you and your health and the people around you. And I still like nice things.
Understood.
But so when I got money, it's like, oh, I'm going to go to Paris. Oh, I'm going to go traveling. I'm going to, yeah. So I'm back and forth to Paris a
It's
lot.
interesting to hear you say, how you've had everything stolen from you. And I think so many people watching and listening to us right now can relate because something at some point in life is taken from us. How are you able to maintain this light that you have and not dwell on that? Because a lot of times we get so stuck in what was stolen
Right.
and in that emotion of anger and hurt and betrayal. Like, how did you clearly let it go. I can just feel it from you.
Yeah,
So how did
yeah.
you do that?
I've had a lot of stuff happen to me in my life, and I
Okay.
think that's what makes me who I am today, and what has brought me to this place of where I am today, which is in a really good place. And I wasn't always there. It was a journey getting there. So, at first, when things happen to you, and it's going to happen to everyone because that's our life lessons, we say, the first thing, it's like, I'm a victim, and why did that happen to me? And I can't, you feel violated.
You do.
When anything, if you're, anything happens, someone aggresses you, so any kind of, you feel like a victim and violated. And that's the thing is you are, but you can't live in that space.
Right.
And it's each thing that happens to us is to teach us a lesson.
Yes.
Like we are constantly growing. We are constantly learning. And what did that teach me?
Right.
And sometimes you can't see the big picture.
Correct.
Sometimes something's happening and a little thing is happening and it's horrible or it's this. But there's like this whole bigger thing that we're not aware of that is, the reason of why it's happening. And I think a lot of the stuff that's happened to me, I've had more things happen in my life than, most people have. And I would say, why? Like, why did this happen to me? And I realized it's because it's of who I am today.
And you don't
what
say,
I can
"Poor me."
and what I can give back.
And you
because
don't say poor me. Poor me doesn't fit into the picture.
No.
Good.
And it's because then I can relate to you. Or you, or you, or anyone. I can relate to anyone because I've been you. I've been there.
Yeah.
Right? And I don't have to, and it's not poor me. It's like, okay, this was my journey on how to get there. And this is who I am today.
That's so fantastic. And that clearly helps you maintain your humanity and your empathy for other people because you can see yourself there, but for the grace, which is pretty impressive. You radiate, I really mean this. You sincerely radiate a light. And I was personally asking that question for you because I sometimes get stuck in the steel that I can't always let it go. And so it can be a bit of a struggle. I think that's so awesome.
You're
Thank you.
human.
Yeah,
We're all human. There are moments.
Yeah.
There are
Right.
moments for me too,
Right.
as well. And then you have to remind yourself. And for me, the biggest thing is really reconnecting with yourself.
Okay.
When you get into that space of of like that not enoughness or whatever it is, or that anger or is to just really feel it in your body, sink into yourself, and connect to your whatever it is.
How do
that
you initiate that reconnection? Because between social media, the phone, the family, the friend, like just life, it's hard sometimes to get that reconnection going because you're on this almost hamster wheel that I call it. So what advice would you give to help someone reconnect?
You have to just sit for a moment and close your eyes.
Okay.
Just close your eyes and just breathe and imagine a light on you.
Okay.
And you connect into that light and you connect into God or whatever it is that you believe, You just connect for a moment and you ask to be guided or to be helped or to whatever it is.
Gotcha.
And you ask and give gratitude.
Okay.
And in that moment, like if you do that before you start anything,
Okay.
whatever it is. And for me, I do this when I'm acting. I do this when I'm writing. I do this with everything when I remember to do it, of course, because I don't always remember because I'm busy and I'm doing this and that. It's a whole different thing that happens.
Gotcha.
Whole different thing.
Yeah.
I love that.
Me too. That's beautiful.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
which is great.
Judy, I want to ask you something about the show business, the business. Because a lot of people, we get caught up in the show. And, my family's been in show business for years. But sometimes we don't see behind the scenes and how to survive. What advice would you give to a young woman that is interested in getting into this field? Because it's a very troubling field for a lot of people. But it's glamorous.
Right. That's why my family didn't want me to go into it. Yes.
Yes. But
It can be glamorous.
Yeah.
It can be glamorous once you're working.
Yeah. And what happens when you're not?
Well, that's the thing. It's hard. It's my passion was so strong. And everybody said to me when I started, they said, if there's something else that you can do, or, if there's something else, you should do that you would want to do rather than to do this, because it's very, very, very difficult. And, you should only be an actor if that is if there's nothing else, if your soul is burning so much that this is what you have to do, and there's nothing else that you like that you can do, because it's a journey. It takes a really long time. It can take a really long time, to get success. And it's not, some people, this overnight success could have been 10 years
Correct.
or 20 years before they're, oh my God, who is this person? Yeah, why'd you never see it? Well, they've been plugging away all along.
Time,
Correct.
that's true.
It takes a while.
It does. And is it also true that, not only to achieve that success, but in a lot of instances to sustain that success can be a challenge too?
Yeah.
Because you're only as good as your last song or your last picture or
Right.
your last modeling gig
Right,
kind of thing.
right.
And that's a challenge
Right.
too.
You have to keep going, and you have to make sure that you have to, it's every single day. You can't, I remember when I was living in Los Angeles, I was I could never leave Los Angeles. I can't leave. I'm going to miss something. I have to, every single day you have to be working on something, on your craft, on posting, on promoting,
Right.
on connecting, on networking, on something. You have to be working on something.
Okay, gotcha. Judy, the name Tango Shalom, it is so intriguing to me, and I only heard about it today. Can you tell me a little bit about it, or tell those of us watching and listening?
Yeah, sure. So Tango Shalom is a new film that just came out streaming yesterday. It was in the theaters for 6 weeks. It was the #1 indie film of the summer release.
Round of applause. Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful, awesome.
Now, before you go on,
Yes.
streaming. I'm still new at this whole streaming business.
So right now it's on VOD. So it's
Okay.
pay-per-view. So
Gotcha.
it's on different, Google Play, I think
Okay.
it's on. It's on Vudu. It's
Okay.
on Amazon, a certain part of Amazon.
Okay.
It's on a bunch of different,
Okay.
Spectrum, Comcast, those kind
Gotcha.
of things.
So when I turn on my TV, I can probably look at Amazon and search for Tango Shalom, or like you said, go to Vudu and search for Tango Shalom, and I should be able to find it, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
perfect,
yeah. And you
okay.
can look up also to see where it's streaming.
Yeah, okay, great.
Yeah,
Okay.
on my Facebook page.
Oh,
too, I think.
perfect.
Yeah.
Can you share your Facebook page? What's your Facebook, if you don't mind?
Well, it's Judi Beecher. I
Okay.
have a fan page,
Yep.
and also on Instagram.
Awesome.
You can also actually, you should go to tangoshalom.com. Has it on the
Perfect.
first page, because I haven't posted it up on the fan page yet.
Okay.
I did it on my personal page.
Tangoshalom.com.
Tangoshalom.com.
Perfect. I like it to be super easy so I can find it.
And you
so.
can, right on top, it'll show what theaters it's still playing in. It'll show where it's streaming, and you can watch the trailer as well. And then
I
if you
like
look
that.
on the top, there's the bios of us. And
Okay.
so Renee Taylor is in the movie, and
Yes.
Lainey Kazan, My
Oh,
Big Fat
yes.
Creek Wedding. Renee was in The Nanny. They're all,
Oh, yeah. Oh,
They're
Academy
amazing.
Award nominees.
Okay.
Joe Bologna.
Yes.
It was his last film
Oh,
because he
wow.
passed away.
Yes, yeah.
And he co-wrote it as well.
Okay.
And Karina Smirnoff is in it with Dancing with the Stars.
Okay.
So I play the Hasidic rabbi's wife in it. It's about a Hasidic rabbi
Okay.
who is having financial problems. So he has a big family. We have 5 kids.
Okay.
And he doesn't know what to do. So he prays to God for help.
Okay.
And in a dream, God comes to him and says that he has to enter a televised tango dance competition to resolve his financial issues.
Okay.
But he can't touch a woman who's not his wife.
Oh,
So
right.
he has to go to all the other religions to ask for help.
Okay.
So the message is interfaith dialogue and
Okay.
inclusion and diversity, and it's a fable. So it's a
Okay.
fun, feel-good, comedy fable.
Okay, fantastic. I love that.
Yeah, and we've won a lot of awards so far,
I'm
and
so
so it's
excited.
very, very exciting that you all can see it now.
Well, I'm going to definitely check it out with that. I am curious to know, these are the silly questions that come to mind. What's it like to go to a movie theater and sit down and you're on the screen?
Well, so I usually don't see movies more than once.
Okay.
This is a preface.
That's okay.
I've seen Tango Shalom like 25 times because
That's
it's such a
incredible.
feel-good movie.
Yeah.
It's like even a movie I'm in, I don't
Right.
see more than
Okay,
once.
okay.
But this movie it makes you feel so good. And,
Okay.
and seeing it in the theater is just like the experience of seeing this in the theater
Right.
is like 1,000 times better than
Of course.
than
Right.
streaming.
Okay.
And I don't in this film though, I don't see myself in it because
Okay.
I'm very different than how I am right now.
Right.
I'm playing
Yeah.
a religious Hasidic woman, woman.
Yeah.
And so I don't look at it and say, "Oh, look, there I am."
Okay.
I'm like watching. It's like almost like I'm watching someone else
Okay.
play it.
Right.
Like
Gotcha.
I'm in her life.
Yeah.
Rather than see my
Correct.
parents too. They came. They didn't
Gotcha.
feel like they. Because it's just it's not me. I look different. I look
Right. Okay.
I have no makeup.
Judy, I'm hearing in my headset, we have to go to commercial break.
Okay.
And we'll be back as soon as we can be back.
There we go.
When I was your age, I was just like you, fascinated by stars. But now I get to search for life in the universe. And who knows? Maybe life is looking for us too.
So we're like aliens to them?
Yeah. Does anyone want to be a scientist now?
I do.
Awesome. We need more girls in STEM.
Maybe we can find aliens.
When I first saw a turtle, my heart was full. Now I'm anything but lonely.
We have this like deep connection, this heart connection.
He just wants to be close to you and part of your life.
Every day with Turtle is a perfect day.
When I'm holding her, it makes me feel calmer.
I think everything he does shows how much he loves us.
When we adopt a shelter pet,
We discover
they're a little bit of a lot of things.
But they're all pure,
Pure love.
love.
We're here in the South Bronx at Children's Health Fund's very first program site, and we're here to celebrate this new partnership and to have a look at the services being provided. Our mission is really very simple. We want to ensure the highest quality healthcare reaches children living in poverty. Access to healthcare is what we do, and we go the extra mile to make sure it happens. And going the extra mile means that we bring our mobile clinics right to where kids live, where they learn, where they play, and we do that in a very community integrated and oriented way.
This is actually a room where the patients are screened by the providers. You could talk to the doctor about various conditions or what it is exactly that you need, just like you would do at your regular physical. The doctor can order certain blood tests to be done from here. They can order certain screenings. They can order referrals for the patient to see specialists if they needed to. They can also order nutrition, mental health, whatever it is that the patient needs, just like at a regular physician's office.
We do more than just medical care. So when we talk about comprehensive services, we obviously have providers, nurse practitioners, and doctors doing basic primary care, but so often a patient comes in complaining about one issue, and then we find out there's so many other issues. So we really see ourselves as kind of a one-stop shopping to really help this family succeed.
Innovation at Children's Health Fund started from day one. We were the pioneers of the medical home house call, and this partnership with Henry Schein is going to continue that innovation. Together, creative problem solving, getting to places where we couldn't go alone, getting there together, and making sure kids have access to high quality care that they need. That's really where we're going together.
Henry Schein is really helping help happen by delivering products and services and solutions that providers need throughout the U.S. every single day. Children's Health Fund and their IDN affiliates are helping help happen by delivering care to the most needy of populations. So we're both delivering. One's delivering products and the other one's delivering care.
To see the partnership come together, the strategies that we've worked on over the last year, culminate to this morning, and getting a chance to walk on the mobile clinic and get a tour of it and find out that it actually has some of the services that a primary care physician's office has. And so to know that that level of care is going to go to the underserved, and specifically in this area to children in need, is just a fantastic time for both organizations.
When I look to the future, I see a future together with Henry Schein and Children's Health Fund. We took a while to get to this point. We've worked together, we've ideated together, we've created together. And from this foundation, the future is very bright. I can see us reaching more kids with more services in more places, not only over the next 4 years, but maybe the next 40.
Welcome back to Our World, the Hour of Power show. I am Rudy J. Breedy, a guest host with the lovely Lady Pauline and the incredible Judi Beecher. Do me a favor, everybody watching. Please follow us on Instagram at Our World Media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Our World Media 1. We're also on Facebook. And please, please, please check out our website, ourworldmedianetwork.com. Judi, rumor has it that you worked with Woody Allen?
I did.
Please tell me all about it. I live for these celebrities. I gotta know.
It was actually my very first acting job.
Oh, come on.
It was.
Could your life be any more golden? This is not fair. I'm loving it.
No, it was actually a string of commercials for the Italian market. It was called Coop Italia. And
say that again. That sounds so nice.
Coop Italia.
Coop Italia. All right now. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi? Go ahead.
But I had just, I was working in Italy. I was working in France. I used to, even before I worked with Woody Allen.
You're doing amazing as a girl from Great Neck. I gotta tell you, you're just killing it. Go on.
But I used to always see Woody on the line. Like it was when you had to get a visa to go to France, and I'd be like, "Is that Woody Allen standing behind me on the visa line?"
Okay.
Wow. And then so it was my first, very, very, very first thing that I did. I said, "I want to be an actor," and he gave me my own little scene. I was the woman in red.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, awesome. I'm so excited. And can you tell everyone watching again a little bit about the book? I know it's not quite finished yet, but what's it all about?
So I am writing a book. It's called Zolis, Mind, Body, Spirit Healing. And I spoke a little bit about how I just started writing automatically. And it was something that happened to me in 2012 where I had literally a spiritual awakening. I had never meditated before. I was like, I couldn't do it. I didn't think I could do it. And one day I had this thing happen. I was willing to give up everything that I knew about myself and ask for what I was supposed to be doing in life.
Oh, wow.
And this light,
you almost surrendered.
This light
to
came
the
on me and went whoosh, and filled the whole room.
Right.
And I sunk into my seat and I got into this. I just started meditating and I saw my future. I saw my path and what I was supposed to be doing. And walking up that red carpet. And I asked, should I be acting? Should I be doing this? What should I be doing? And it was a big resounding yes.
Okay.
And it was also that I was supposed to be an activist. Oh. And I was supposed to be, and I didn't even know what an activist was at that point.
Okay.
Everything was about getting a job. Me.
Okay.
And so at that point, like all of a sudden, all these things started coming in, like projects. Yeah. I was supposed to be doing projects that are going to change the consciousness of the planet. Okay. That was the message.
Gotcha.
And that's what Tango Shalom, which we were just talking about, is a film like that. And all these other films I'm working on as well.
Okay.
And so in that moment, I opened up my journal. I had this revelation. I saw my future. Mm-hmm. I opened my journal. I put my hand down and it just started writing. And I started hearing, like literally I would hear this, I don't know if it was a voice, I don't know what, I could just hear it, like feel it, sense it. And I was transcribing it with a cell phone.
Yeah.
It just kept coming through me. And I wrote 4 books of this information.
Wow.
And I you know, I knew I was supposed to share it with other people, but I was like, well, this is to help me. You know, all this stuff is to help me. You know, I have stuff going on. This is for me. And every time I would show it to somebody, they would, you know, just open the book, my writings randomly. And it would always help whoever it was. It was exactly what the person was going through at that time. And the message was helpful to them. And so this is a book. It's of the teachings that came through me. It's kind of like if you're familiar with Esther and Jerry Hicks and the teachings of Abraham. It was like a soul. I said, what is this? Who are you? Are you God? Who's coming through me? What is this?
Are you scared when you get
No,
those feelings,
it wasn't
or what?
scary at all. That's why I called my friend. I was like, I'm not scared at all. It was just like, and they said, we are a soul group. We are a group of people who are on the planet and others not on the planet, and we're here to bring solace to the planet.
Oh my goodness!
Yeah.
Because sometimes I feel that way myself. You know, I would meet somebody and know, just like I met you, Rudy.
Yeah.
And just knew that this is the person I need to work with. Sometimes you get that feeling.
It's like a
gut feeling.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't meet too many people, you know, that have those feelings, or because sometimes my family think I'm a little bit crazy.
Well, you know what? I think everybody has this. Some people it's more developed than others, and it's just allowing yourself to recognize it. You know, to recognize that and ask for it. And you know, I think people block their own intuition.
Absolutely.
And their own.
They suppress it.
It's the same thing with your creativity, your intuition. You have to just be open and be in that state of openness, and then stuff comes through. I mean, it did for me. I was like, what is this?
I love it. I love your
stuff?
story. But I also read somewhere, you do behind the scenes, you do producing too?
Yeah. So I produced Tango Shalom. I was an executive producer on the show. Yeah.
Wow.
On the movie, not the show, the movie.
So I have to ask you, what's the difference between being in front and being in the back? In the front camera, as well as, you know.
So, I studied business.
Okay.
In school, and I'm like a very good salesperson. I had one of my little gigs is during acting was doing sales and stuff. So, but I can sell anything as long as I believe in it and I love it. Yeah. Right. So it's no difference with like a movie and raising money. Yeah. If you really believe in something that you're doing, it's easy. So that's, the difference is it's a totally different side of your brain, first of all, because I've produced and directed, and I did another little film, and I had to turn off that. I had to turn off the business side when I was doing the acting, because acting, you have to be in your body. Yeah. Your body has to be free. Your voice has to be free. Everything has to be free. Right. And you can't. Otherwise you're acting. If you're in the sense, if you're thinking about something else, are we going to get the money for, or did the stuff come? Did we get those, did we get the stuff that we needed? If you're in that, you're not going to be present for your partner, for the scene that you're in. And you're going to suck. You're going to be a really bad, you're going to be acting, and you don't want to be caught acting. Right. Yeah. When you're acting. You don't want people to say, oh, she's acting. Oh yeah. You have to really be in the moment. So so acting is in the moment. Okay. What I loved so much about when I read that, What Color's Your Parachute, I'm very into self-care, self-help, doing things to better yourself, and acting kind of took into everything into that, because you're really in touch with your body, with yourself. You're really taking care of yourself when you're an actor. You have to, because your body is your instrument. Okay. When you sing, your voice is your instrument. Your body, you're out there, so you have to really
respect it.
Respect your body and your emotions, and it's your emotions as well. You got to access your emotions.
Correct.
You have to be able to. On a second, you got to get into that space. Someone just was killed, or you're in love with this person, or something. It's really being able to access your emotions.
Gotcha.
On a dime. Yeah. So you can't do that if you're
Right.
messed up, or if you're out there, you know, it's like, or if you're thinking about, you know, the craft services didn't come, you know, or whatever.
Correct.
Like,
Yeah. Which is
so it's hard.
impressive.
You have to really just kind of,
Gotcha.
you know, and sometimes when you're doing it, especially I haven't yet, I'm directing a documentary right now about my mother, who was a hidden child in the Holocaust. And I'm in the documentary as well. So I found it challenging because I had to direct myself, direct my mother, you know, and then come out and you know, direct the DP and direct, you know, make sure everything's going on, and then run into the shot. And so it's much harder to do that.
How do you do that? How do you make that transition so quickly?
How do you? It's just it's hard to do that.
Okay.
It's
Gotcha.
it's not easy to do that. And I also ask for help when I'm doing that, and I'm saying, hey, I'm in this now. Could you kind of take over for me and like be my eyes and make sure that I'm, you know, what everything else is going on. Yeah. So that movie, it's called Run Runya. This is the working title.
Okay.
We're in the middle of it. Run Runya, the kindness of strangers. Okay. And it's about my mother escaped by herself when she was 6 years old across the French-Swiss border.
Is that what the term hidden child means, or?
No, that means she escaped, but she was put into hiding.
Okay.
They were,
for the benefit of those who may not know.
Yes, so she and her parents were deported from Germany into a camp in the south of France. They were forced to leave their homes. They could only take one suitcase. You know, they had to leave everything, and they were in this prison camp for a year and a half. And her parents gave her up and to the Swiss Red Cross and the organization to save the children, to put her into a place to be hidden, and they didn't know where she was, she was going to be put, so that, you know, so that they could save her life, hopefully. And then my grandparents went into hiding in the ceiling of the detention camp. When everyone was being sent to the death camps, they were hiding up in the camp, up in the ceiling, and they escaped. Yeah, and they were helped by guards and police that wanted to arrest them, but then had a change of heart and helped them.
Yeah.
So that's my documentary that I'm
phenomenal. And approximately what years was this?
It was during World War II.
So about when to when? Only because the reason being is I think people
40 to 45,
Correct.
1940 to 1940
Correct.
was when World War II was,
Correct.
and when the Holocaust happened.
Correct, and thank you for
time.
that. And the reason I asked that question is that, you know, I think most young people today,
they don't know.
It's taught in school, and it seems like a long time ago.
Yeah.
But 1940 really wasn't
that long ago.
And, you know, you're a very young woman, and when you say your grandparents, you know, if people think about their grandparents, it really wasn't, you know, thousands of years ago. It was time, although it feels it's so quick. And it's so precious, and people don't realize it. So that was why I wanted you to kind of break that down for me.
Yeah.
How do you maintain, because you're so accomplished on the professional level, how do you maintain that work and life balance? I mean, I joked about going to the supermarket, but how do you keep it all together?
Life? No, I'm just kidding.
No, you're sitting on top of the world. How do you do it? I mean, what's your secret?
Again, you have to take care of yourself.
Okay.
Like you gotta, and it's funny because when I do take that moment in the morning to kind of ground myself, and I do my prayer, meditation, writing, it could be 5 minutes, you know, just like when I give myself that gift and do exercise, like when I exercise and it gives me so much more energy and makes my day so much easier. And I kind of just flow through the day when I'm in that space. When I don't and I forget and I jump right into my work, it's just then I never stop working, and I make another call, another this and this. It's like 10 o'clock at night. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't. So you really, you know, it's making also, because I'm doing so many different projects at once. There's also it's making a conscious decision to break, to have dinner, to do stuff, to go out with friends, to have fun, you know, to have a life, you know, to take a vacation, to travel, you know.
I love it.
A lot of times I travel for work. I'll go, you know, to Cannes and be at the festivals. And then I'll take a little bit of time to see friends and, you know, travel around a little bit.
Gotcha.
I love your life, Judi. Tell me, you have done so many different things over the years. What have you not done that you would like to do in the future?
What have I not done?
Yeah.
I'd like to win an Academy Award.
Put it out there in the
I
universe.
did,
It'll
yes. I'd like
happen.
to win an Academy Award. I'm saying that
That's
right now.
right. You will win an Academy Award.
I am winning my Academy Award right now
right.
as we speak.
That's right.
We're actually applying for the Academy Awards. We're in consideration with Tango Shalom for the Academy Awards.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank
That
you.
alone is wonderful.
Yeah, for all the awards, for Spirit Awards, Academy Awards.
That's wonderful. Wonderful.
Yeah, Golden Globes.
Oh,
all those,
phenomenal.
so.
Congratulations.
Yes, thank you. So vote for us.
We definitely will. But
definitely.
just to be a candidate is phenomenal.
Exactly.
It's
Yeah.
a wonderful gift.
Have
Wow.
you gotten to the point wherein you get on the train and people recognize you yet?
Everybody thinks I'm Sarah Jessica Parker.
I was going to ask that question, but I didn't want to because you do have like a tribal relation. I love it. I love
It's
it.
really funny. They'll go, Sarah.
Right?
I'll be like, no, it's not. No, I am an actress. I'm not Sarah.
I love the reboot. That's amazing.
I get her and a bunch of other actors
Yeah.
too. Like everyone thinks I'm some other actor.
I love that. I love that.
too.
Now, but I literally just met you before we kind of began here, and I genuinely feel and see how amazing you are. But the truth be told is, I think if I were home watching this on TV, I would say to myself, she has it two together. This can't be real. Are there any areas, without sharing too much, that maybe you do struggle with?
Everything.
Okay, so you do no, really.
Everything.
Okay, so I mean, you truly are a regular person. So you have your own challenges.
No, I'm a regular person, and
Yeah.
I have fears, and I struggle, and I, you
Yeah.
know, it's a daily thing that you have to do. When I say I do this like connection thing, it's because it's like I ask for help.
Gotcha.
You know, it's like, how am I going to do this? How am I
Okay.
going to get through this day? Like what?
Okay.
How am I going to do this? Like this
thank
is a
you.
big. This is
Okay.
a big thing in front of me. You know,
Okay.
it's like
People want to hear this.
That's exactly what they want to hear.
It is
Yeah.
because, and it was, I didn't just like boop, like,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Right.
now I'm a
No, thank you
No,
for
it's-
sharing that. That really helps people
Yeah.
connect, which is great. What would Judi now say to Judi back then, who felt like she, couldn't?
I would say you can do it.
Okay.
And what's so this is it's always comes back to a spiritual thing. Someone said to me also once, all that stuff you have going on, like all that stuff, your fears, your this, your that, you can't do it, you're scared, you're never going to happen. Take a sheet. It's like you're taking a sheet and holding it on both ends and going like this. And just like letting it fall over everything, and then it's gone.
Gotcha.
And you just it's just like this. It's gone.
Okay.
That's what like connecting is. It's like, and all your fears are gone.
Okay.
Yeah, and I work a lot with gratitudes as well. Like being grateful.
So important.
And
for everything, even the smallest
when
thing,
I'm
right?
in a funk.
Yeah.
When it gets dark, when the weather changes, I get really depressed because I'm like, the day tomorrow, the day is getting shorter. I don't know if I can handle it.
Yep.
But is that I will give gratitude for what I want in my life that I haven't yet achieved.
I want you to say that
as
again, please.
if I already have it.
Please say that again for everyone watching,
I
because that's
give
powerful.
gratitude for what I want to have happen in my life that I have not yet achieved, as if I already have it.
That is so powerful.
So it's like, thank you so much for my Academy Award. I'm
Yes.
so grateful. I'm
Yes.
so grateful. Oh my God, thank you,
Yes.
thank you, thank you.
I
my gosh.
love your spirit. I
Yeah.
just love it. It's,
do.
It's so inspirational and inspiring.
She is, yeah.
I hope the audience gets that feeling.
I hope that they do. And I hope for me, what I got out of this, and I hope that they get from this, is that we all have the power to manifest our own destiny and our own joy and our own happiness. And whatever situation you seem to find yourself in, because like you said, you had doubt, you had fear, you had these things, you were able to transcend those by just believing in yourself, but surrendering to that higher, whatever it is that you know is higher than you. So that's really pretty impressive. I know we're super duper spiritual and all that great stuff right now, but I've got some, I guess what would to me be
Concrete
silly questions.
Sure.
In terms of your modeling, how do you take a good selfie?
That's
Do you have any modeling tricks? Like, how can I shave 10 pounds off that camera? Like, come on, Judy, give us some secrets.
Well, one of the things is you hold the camera higher.
Okay.
Right. For women especially.
Okay.
You hold it higher.
Gotcha.
Like, yeah.
Okay. And how do you hide the double of the chinning? Anything? Like, do you just do an angle or?
I don't have a double chin.
No,
so
I
I don't
know
know.
you don't.
So I haven't.
I know you don't.
I'm not
Okay.
sure.
No, you're tall and
what
beautiful.
other people have told me, like they do. They're like, okay, we're gonna stand on the side.
Okay.
To hide their whatever.
Gotcha.
Like that. I don't.
Okay.
I don't have that problem. I have other problems. But
Just know that if I were home, that's why I'd be hating you, Judy. Love it. I love it.
God.
Oh, you're so sweet. I love that.
Yeah, now, Judy, I do have to worry about that. My stomach. I cover.
Thank you, Lady Pauline.
I like being for real,
I'm trying to gain weight, but like a couple of pounds.
Okay, Judy, you can leave. You can go. Okay, this show is over.
Oh, God.
Oh, you're so cute. What's it like to have your parents go to the theater and see you?
Oh my God, it was amazing. My parents came twice.
Okay.
To see the 3 times. They
Yeah.
saw it 3 times. To the Q&As and to
Okay.
the stuff. I was like so happy
Okay.
that they went to see me, that they came to see me.
Yeah.
And my mother was asking so many questions.
That's so incredible.
It was wonderful. Like
Oh
to
my gosh.
and yeah.
Okay.
It was great.
Do you have any hobbies? Because I know you do a lot of work. But...
I love travel, but I
Okay.
love taking pictures.
Ah.
I think I have a really good eye. And if if I'm traveling around, I'm always seeing a picture somewhere. And if I'm not taking pictures, I'll draw it.
Okay.
Even though I'm not an artist, I need some way to remember the moment or the picture that I'm seeing. So I like
Excellent.
doing photography.
That's fantastic.
I like drawing.
I know that you don't have to struggle with the pounds. Do you cook?
Very little.
Okay.
The least possible. No, I know how to do it.
Okay, gotcha, but we don't see that.
I've done it. I can do it. And when people come over, they think I can.
Okay,
but,
great. I love you, Judy. You're a riot.
You're great.
I can do it a little.
She can do it a little. That's so fantastic.
Good.
That's
People don't know that
Oh gosh. You've been all over the place, like you said, Paris and like, where would you love to live when it's just time to to truly plant those roots and stay there forever? Where
Oh
would you want to
gosh,
be?
because when I did live in Europe, I was like, I couldn't decide. I love so many different places.
Okay.
I kind of am bi-coastal.
Gotcha.
But I'm like, Paris and New York and LA and the south of France. There's like these little town called Cassis, which I love, and Cannes, and I just
What would you
love
say is
Europe.
the difference between New York, say, versus Paris? I mean, obviously, besides the geography, like what's the vibe like in Paris versus New York for someone who's never been?
Oh gosh, Paris is just so romantic, and I just appreciate it so much. I'm there, and I'm a different person when I'm there.
Okay.
I'm on fire when I'm there, and things manifest really easily when I'm there. Gotcha. Everything's old and charming, and you feel like you're back in the 1700s or 1600s. Everything's the same.
Gotcha.
And people are really fun there. Everybody does really super fun things and goes little
wonderful.
art gallery things like they do here, but it's different.
Different.
They really enjoy life, really long dinners, and
Is
people
it as
really
fast
enjoy
paced and
life.
just on the go? Okay, so it's a little more.
No,
relaxed.
it's not as fast paced, and
Okay.
I find that it's like more meeting people face to face, less texting. It's more people. It's about people and
That's
maybe it's because I'm visiting when I'm there, or I'm there for
Sure.
more limited, amounts of times.
Understood.
But it's really about getting together
Okay.
and people being with each other.
Gotcha. Okay. Is there any place that you went to visit and, either you were really excited to get there or just you went there and you're like,
In Europe or
anywhere you traveled?
that I was excited to visit,
That
and
you
then
were excited to visit and you just felt like,
Well,
or
it's-
you went and you're like, I don't think I want to come back here.
So yeah, it's interesting. So I worked in Barcelona,
Okay.
and I worked in this little town called Calella de la Costa,
Okay.
and my memory of it was this little romantic little beach town, and I went back and it was horrible. It was horrible. It was like all like built up and horrible. And I was like, God, this can't be the town where I was like singing. And but that was my memory of it, was this cute little like sleepy, town, kind of like Encinitas, California. Like that's how I kind of remembered it a little, but it was just this like horrible, I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't go back.
You're allowed to say no, obviously. Would you sing us a little something? Even if it's the
God.
ABCs?
A, B, C, D. No. I have a song which is going to be coming out soon.
Do we get a teaser?
I'll sing a few lines.
Okay, come on.
But it's two different things. So one is Paris Ooh La La.
So say that again.
Paris Ooh La La.
Ooh la la.
So it's about, I'm going to just sing a couple
Lady
lines.
Pauline. Ooh la la.
It's about, you think it's about a woman who's obsessed with a man. But in fact, it's not. It's about a woman who's obsessed with Paris.
Oh.
Okay.
So it's half French, half English. Okay. I'll sing a few lines, and then I'll sing a few lines of this other thing, which is a really channeled.
Keep on singing. I want to hear it.
I'm not warmed up.
That's all right. Go ahead,
You'll
girl.
still do better than either one of us, so go for it.
Paris, ooh la la, Paris, ooh la la, the sidewalk cafes, the Eiffel Tower, the lovers kissing everywhere. Paris, ooh la la, Paris, ooh la la, qu'est-ce que c'est cette chanson d'amour, de hâte, de jalousie. C'est bête que très peu de choses sont claires, ça serait mieux si tout finit bien. T'es où mon chéri, t'es où mon ooh la la, je suis là, je te cherche, tu m'échappes, je te suis. T'es où mon ooh la la, je sais bien que tu me veux, je sais bien que tu me veux, je sais bien que tu es ooh la la Paris.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Can you all put the camera on me? Because this is the side of my eye that I'm giving her. Lady Pauline, did she not say, I'm not warmed up, I'm not? Then all of a sudden, ooh la la. I mean, clearly someone's got the pipes, but okay. I'm not even gonna.
I love it.
It's kind of like cabaret. It was
see
for a
you,
movie.
Judy.
I
Let's
made
just
this
be
for a
clear.
movie.
I see you. I love it. What's song number 2?
And the song number 2, so this was another one, a weird experience. I sat at a piano. I mean, I was in an Airbnb in LA, a grand piano, microphone. I sat there and I prayed for a song that I could sing at Agape, which was a spiritual non-denominational church in Los Angeles with Reverend Michael. Yeah. And this song came through me, and I played it. I played piano. I played it. I don't play piano, but I played the whole song, like the accompaniment.
You prayed and then could play the piano?
Yeah. This song came through me. So I'm just, again, I'll just...
just cut the crap. Come on, Judy. Sing. You got an amazing voice.
All right. You have to close your eyes.
I'm ready.
It's kind of like a meditation.
Hold on. I want to.
It's kind of like a meditation.
Let's get centered. Let's center, Lady Pauline.
It's just relaxing. Okay. When you hear a little message, when you hear the whistle blowing, and you know the time is right, because things can't stay the same. People watching you, and people judging you, and people looking through you. But there is so much hope in prayer, and there is so much hope in prayer, and there is so much laughter there. There is something that you, and there is so much strength in something greater than we know. If you just sit down and listen, if you just sit down and wonder, if you just open your heart and reach out for something, you can do it. You can do it with love. When you're feeling something's missing, when you're feeling down and low, when you're feeling there is something missing, there is something much stronger than you, something that you just didn't know that was missing. Is right there inside you, is right there inside you. But you've been looking outside of yourself. You'll never find it if you don't look inside you. 'Cause it's all happening inside of you. And you'll be set, and you'll be set free.
Oh,
Wow.
Oh, Judi, that's so inspirational. Woo.
There go.
Touch me.
I don't know how else we can end the show any better than that. I mean,
that is
please.
Wonderful. Judi, tell the audience how they can reach you if they need to, and where your movie's going to be playing again.
Yes.
And where they can get these songs.
Yeah, so we're going to be doing a release soon of the songs and the music video of Paris Oh La La. So they can reach me on Instagram. I'm on Instagram. I have a Facebook fan page. I'm on IMDb. You can see my work on IMDb.
Judi with an I, correct?
Judi with an I. So it's imdb.me/Judi Beecher, JUDI Beecher. And then my movie, which is so exciting that it just came out and everybody can watch it at home.
Yes.
Tango Shalom.
Yep.
You would go to tangoshalom.com and you can see where it's streaming. And then let me know what you think of it after you watch it. And then Paris Oh La La will be coming out very shortly.
Yep. And I will make sure that I put the tangoshalom.com on my social media so everyone can find it. And I'm sure Our World Media will do the same.
Yes, we will.
Judi, you're amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
you guys
much.
are amazing.
Thank you.
Rudy, how can people reach you?
You know, I'm going to be on Our World Media, so find me
right,
here.
that's right.
There you go.
There you go. You're going to be back real soon.
Really
Hopefully
soon.
next week.
Listen, we can talk about it. Have my people call your people. Now, I am my people, but yes.
Everybody, you've been listening to Our World, Our Power here with Lady Pauline and Rudy.
Hey.
Because Rudy is my man.
Oh,
right here.
yes.
Yes.
Please, again, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Our World Media. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Our World Media 1, and go to our website, ourworldmedianetwork.com. Have a wonderful day, everyone.
Yes, and have a blessed week. Thank you all for watching.
Take care.